Now there are hundreds of AI apps out there to help with marketing, but today I want to show you the one tool that I keep coming back to and that I have used to build an entire marketing team as a solo founder. Now personally, like many people, I actually hate marketing and sales. I want to be building and making things. I'm a designer and a product person. I don't want to be out there kind of selling things or trying to market stuff to people. And so I was really surprised when I used this tool and actually found it super fun to use, enjoyable, and it saved me loads of time. And what I didn't expect was that this tool has actually completely changed the way that I'm approaching my YouTube channel. And so in this video, I want to break down the 6 AI assistants that I have built using this tool and how you can set up the exact same thing for your business idea so that you can start growing it as a solo founder. If you don't know me, my name is Chris, and for the last 15 years, I've been designing apps and advising startups on product and design. And with that said, let me show you exactly how I set this up.
Build great products. Build great products.
So we're going to be looking at an AI tool here called Poppy, and basically Poppy allows you to create AI assistants where you can talk to any input or any piece of information that you want in order to create something. And today I want to show you exactly what Poppy is, how you can use it, and the 6 AI assistants that I've created to do almost everything when it comes to marketing and idea generation for Build Great Products. And I'm also going to show you the one AI assistant here that has completely changed the way that I come up with video ideas for the channel. So if I just scroll down the Poppy homepage here, you can see there's a bunch of stuff from all of these people using Poppy, but what does it actually look like? You can see this image here, there's like a load of stuff like connected to other stuff with like videos and assets and chats and all of this stuff here, but it's still like a little bit intangible as to how it actually works. If I come down here, there's a better graphic like further down the page rather than all these testimonials, which is this one here. So basically you would connect up any kind of input here on the left hand side to an AI assistant, to an AI chat, and it will use any of the context and information from any of the things that you've hooked into that chat, and is able to create any kind of creative output on the right hand side here from that information. So I want to give you some really tangible ways to use this, and I want to show you the 6 AI assistants that I'm using to actually run and create all of the content and marketing for Build Great Products, and how I plan to use this moving forwards as well. So if we just get straight into Poppy AI. So this is your kind of dashboard in Poppy AI. It looks like fairly basic. There's an intro video here, but what I want to show you is how to use this to set up your kind of marketing workflows and actually come up with ideas. This is not for automating any marketing, because one of the principles that I try and stick to with my business, and the same principle that I stuck to before when I ran my design agency Telescope, was basically to do something manually first, to find something that works first before automating it. So I would do something like this as a step even before you think about doing any sort of automations or anything in something like NAN, because this is going to help you figure out what is actually going to work quicker. And then once you've figured out what works, you can even hook these AI assistants in Poppy up to your workflows in like NAN or any automations using the API if you do upgrade your account in Poppy. But let's jump into creating a new board here. And what I want to show you how to create is basically how to create an AI assistant to do something like coming up with short form video ideas. And I don't want to show you how to do it to create short form videos using AI, because I think a lot of the time the AI created short form videos is actually really inauthentic. It's just a lot of noise and a lot of AI kind of rubbish that's being posted out there, and it can seem really appealing and easy to just think, oh, I'm just going to get AI to create the video for me. But actually what that usually means is worse performance on short form video. And if you can come up with ideas that are easy to create, are more authentic, and actually kind of match what the style or the format or your kind of tone of voice, that is going to help you massively. So let's just call this short form video idea generator. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste a few things onto the canvas in the middle here. So you can see on the left hand side, you have all of these controls. You have an AI chat, which is kind of like the primary node that you want to add to the canvas. That's going to be your AI assistant that you add in here. So if I click that, that will add like an AI chat. Now on the surface, this is basically just a chat to Claude 4 or whatever kind of AI model that you want to use, GPT-5. It defaults to Claude 4 Sonnet, but you can change it to any AI model that you want to use there, including the GPT-5 Mini if you want to go for a cheaper option here as well. But the magic really in Poppy comes into what we plug into this. So if I want to come up with short form video ideas, basically what I want to do is I want to find like a framework that I want to use to construct that video in terms of the script. I want to find some example videos videos of content that is done really well on short form. And then I also maybe want to plug in my brand tone of voice here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the framework first. And so I've got this video here from Callaway, which is basically how to create irresistible hooks. It has 494,000 views. And I think this is like a really, really good foundation for like creating hooks for short form and long form videos. It's just got a ton of information in here. Now, what you might have to do from this before is like watch through the entire video, make notes, use those notes to come up with the ideas yourself. But what you can do with Poppy is just to copy this YouTube URL, put it into Poppy over here, and this now has the entire transcript for this video. And I'm just going to call this Hook Framework for Videos. And so if we connect that up to our AI chat, it gives the AI chat the context of this transcript. So it has like this entire framework is now plugged into the AI chat, and the AI knows that this is the hook framework that I want to use. So now we've got a hook framework. I also want to give it an example of a short form video that I might want to replicate or that has done really well. So I found this one here, which is about basically building an app using Lovable. It has 14,000 likes, so I think it's done pretty well and is a good example of something that might work on short form. Basically just copy that URL again, go back to your board here, paste that into your Poppy board, and then I'm going to call this short form format example. So that is going to be the format that I want to try and use. The last thing I'm going to do here is create a group, and I'm going to drop in some of my own videos here to create my own tone of voice, and I'm going to call this brand tone of voice. And what we're going to do is once you've created this tone of voice, you can add that in as a document and then just basically copy that into any AI assistant or any board that you create in Poppy here. So let's go to my YouTube and then drop in some videos that I think will be good for my tone of voice. So I'm going to copy in this replit one. Let's copy the link here, and I'm just going to drag these into this group so you can kind of combine multiple videos here into the same group to wrap it kind of all under the same context. I'm going to drop in this which AI tool is best. Let's put a couple more in here. Let's add that one in there as well, and this just transcribes them as I add them to the canvas. I'm going to put in this $10,000 brand with Nano Banana because I think that was more of one of the more conversational videos that I've done on the channel, and let's leave it at that for now. And then what I can say, let's plug this in here. And first I'm going to say, let's generate a brand tone of voice guideline document from the brand tone of voice group of videos. So that is now going to create a tone of voice kind of guidelines document, which I can also plug in. So here we go. Brand tone of voice guidelines, authoritative yet approachable expert, practical problem solver, voice characteristics, direct and efficient, encouraging and empowering, honest and transparent, tone guidelines, educational content, product reviews, recommendations, community building, language patterns. So here's like some hook formulas that I use. Value first approach. So front load the most valuable information, use the speed to value principle, deliver insights quickly, create curiosity loops that keep people engaged, content structure. There's a ton of stuff in here. So what I'm going to do now is basically copy all of this brand tone of voice guidelines. I'm going to create a text node on here and just paste that tone of voice guidelines into there. Let's call that brand tone of voice. I'm going to delete this group and let's delete these as well. And then I'm just going to plug this brand tone of voice guidelines into here, into this chat, and let's start a new conversation. And what I want to say here is something like, help me come up with some short form video ideas around building apps with AI that follows the hook framework for videos and has the same format as the format example. And so that's now going to give me some ideas for short form videos based on the hook formula and based on the format of the short form video that I work. So basically we're repurposing this short form video here into different hooks that would work in the niche that I am in, which is this AI kind of app building space. But you could do this for any niche, you could do this for any industry, anything that you're kind of interested in. And the way that I would do this if I was building an app, for example, say I'm building like a to-do list or a productivity app and I want to start creating content in the productivity space, you could just do the same thing here to say like, help me come up with some short form video ideas around productivity hacks or productivity tips in order to generate a bit of awareness and attention through short form video for your app that you're building that you want to promote there. And short form organic is one of the highest leverage ways that you can get attention very, very quickly on your app idea or on your business at the moment, that there is still a huge amount of opportunity in. So let's go through these ideas. Quick break in the episode to talk about my community for people who are building apps with AI and want to actually launch their app and get real customers. It's called the AI App Builders Academy. So if you're building an AI app with Bolt or Lovable or Cursor or any of these AI tools, and you actually want to make a profit and launch your app, then this is the community for you. Inside, you'll get access to a community of other builders, as well as my 30-day app course, helping you go from idea to app to a profitable launch in just 30 days. You'll also get access to weekly calls with live workshops and training, as well as all of my startup frameworks and resources, and 24/7 support from the community to help you answer any questions or problems you're having with building and launching your AI app. So if you're building an app with AI and you actually want to make a profit and launch your app, then head over to school.com/AI apps to find out more. I'll see you there. So we've got video ideas using the 3-step hook formula, the no code revelation. So context lean, everyone thinks you need to code to build AI apps, but here's what nobody tells you: the most successful AI apps are built by people who can't code at all. The speed advantage, building an app used to take 6 months and 50k, but with AI that's completely backwards, because now the fastest builders are making apps in under 24 hours. Validation trap, most people spend months perfecting their AI app idea, but here's the brutal truth: the best AI apps are the ones that launched broken and iterated fast. So this would have taken me ages to come up with off the top, like by myself. And what is great here is that it's following the exact hook structure that I want to use and the exact format that I want to actually create these videos in as well. And what we could do from this is actually get it to write out a script based on one of these ideas. So let's say everyone says the AI app market is too saturated, but get this, 99% of AI apps solve the wrong problem entirely. I'm not 100% loving that one. I think this one is really good, the validation trap. Let's say, let's write a script using my tone of voice for the validation trap idea. It's called validation trap. I should have just said number 3, the validation trap idea. So let's get it to write a script for us, and it's basically going to write the script here for us, and it's going to give us an idea of the visuals. So we could even like pass this over to an editor if we wanted to. If we like created a framework around this based on how we want to do our videos, once we've found something that works, we could then generate these based on those frameworks connected up to this hook framework and the other short form examples to kind of even give instructions directly to an editor as to what exactly we wanted to do in the videos here. The script is a screen showing someone and endlessly tweaking that mock-up clock, fast forwarding through weeks. Most people spend months perfecting their AI app idea, researching competitors, building the perfect feature set, but here's the truth: the best AI apps are the ones that launched broken and iterated fast. I'm going to show you exactly how to validate your AI app idea in 1 day, not 1 month. First, build the absolute minimum version of your idea. I'm talking bare bones, 1 core AI feature, basic interface. Launch it immediately and watch what people do with it. Here's what I've learned after building 50 plus AI apps. Users will tell you exactly what they want, but only after they can touch it. That feedback you get in 24 hours from real users is worth more than 6 months of planning in isolation. Okay, so it's broken down the entire script for you here. Now, I'm not a massive script guy. I don't really script anything that I do, but this is great because it breaks down like exactly the kind of structure that I would do in a video. And what I'm actually going to ask it here is, can you create a overview of the script with the key points so I can improvise this? And then we'll get it to create like some key points here. Here we go. Key talking points: the problem. People overplan and over-research, months of perfecting before launch, building in isolation versus building with users. What I would do maybe here, because if we look at this video...
In seconds. First, ask ChatGPT to write a prompt for your dream app and copy it. Next, go to this free website and paste your...
It's actually not the guy talking into camera, so I could just record that audio basically and then send it to an editor with instructions, or like edit that myself with different clips, film just these different B-roll clips, and then kind of piece that together as a short form video, which could work pretty well. So that is the basic gist of like how to use Poppy and how to set it up to actually start generating ideas. Now let's go through the 6 AI assistants that I'm using here actually in my business on a day-to-day basis. The first one here is my X daily post generator. So what I think is really good if you're building an app, if you're building content around in a certain niche, in a certain industry, or you're building awareness of an app that you're building, or you're building a business where you're actually creating something, is to build that in public. Basically, building in public is that idea of basically posting your journey as you kind of build, as you kind of do things on a day-to-day basis. And basically what I wanted to do here was I wanted a way of creating like a really high quality X post that I could do every single day that would be based off of just something that I had done that day. So I didn't have to think about, oh, what's the hook? How do I write this? How long does it need to be? What format does it need to be in? What I've basically done is connected up a few different things here. Firstly, I've connected this hook video here again because I think it's just a really great example of like how to create hooks really well. I've connected my brand tone of voice here. I also have my brand tone of voice guidelines connected in here. I don't think I need both. It was just to kind of give it a better idea. And I've also added a load of these text blocks here in this group called Good Progress X Posts. And I think progress is like basically showing the progress that you're making every day and helping break down an idea for people. And so what I've done here, I also like to like just add these little instructions here, or like anything to copy and paste, like above the AI assistant, above the AI chat. And so tell the AI the thing you did today and reformat into an X post using your tone of voice and examples. So you can see from these examples here, I basically said, use my brand tone of voice, the hook framework, and examples of X content formats that work. Create me a post for today based on this information. And then I just say something that's happened today. So I'm going to do a new conversation here and let's paste this in. So using my brand tone of voice, create a post for me today based on this information. And the information that I want to post here is, so I'm going to do a post basically about why I realized it doesn't really matter what tool you use to build AI apps or vibe code with. The key is building a workflow that works for you and having flexibility to build using any tool when you need it. And so let's send that off to this chat. So this might just be like a random thought that I've had, or like something that struck me when I was speaking to my community on a weekly call. And so what it's broken down here is like, it's using this type of hook, the contrarian hook. It uses authority building, practical value, direct efficient tone. It has a community CTA and it frames it with personal experience. Now, if I was going to use all of these frameworks or this strategy, it would take me ages to write this, like a very long time. But this is done here, what it would have taken me maybe half an hour to an hour to actually write something this good. So most people get stuck choosing the perfect AI coding tool, but here's what I've learned after 15 years of building apps. The tool doesn't matter, your workflow does. I've used Cursor, Bolt, Lovable, Leap, they all work. The key is having a system that lets you switch between tools when needed, maintain consistency across projects, focus on solving problems, not fighting your setup. Stop overthinking the stack, start building the workflow. If you're building an app with AI and want to make a profit, I break down my exact workflow in my community and then I can put a link there. And that is a really solid post for me to just copy and paste onto X. I haven't needed to write it myself. It uses my brand tone of voice and it's following the hook format that works. I've basically only just started doing this, and all of the posts that I do on X, because I've got a really small following on X, and X is one of the areas that I want to focus on growing next alongside YouTube. My posts get about 10 to 20 views, and I've had a couple that have gone a little bit bigger and gotten maybe 10,000-12,000 views if they've been picked up by the algorithm. But I was posting this and it was consistently getting hundreds if not thousands of views compared to just like 10 or 20 that it was doing before. So the quality compared to something like just writing it yourself is absolutely there if you're connecting in the right information to this tool. The next AI assistant that I've used here is basically a landing page generator. So this will create all of the copy for my landing page, and it will write a prompt for Lovable to build the website for me. So basically I've plugged in here the Lovable prompting Bible. I've plugged in some copywriting frameworks. I really like this one here. It is really good, breaks down a ton of copywriting principles. And I've also plugged in some high converting SaaS websites. So this would be basically to like generate a landing page for a SaaS tool or an app that you're building. So let's say I'm doing a to-do list app for busy parents to manage family life. So like, let's say create a prompt for a high converting website landing page for a to-do list app for busy parents to manage family life. And you could add in here like with these specific features, or you could even just plug in an existing website if you have an existing website already. And so let's pop that in there. And this is also going to follow the Lovable prompting guide. So this is actually the prompting guide that's come straight from Lovable. What have we got here? Landing page copywriting prompt for family to-do app. So here we go. We've got hero section. So based on the copywriting frameworks and high converting principles, here's a comprehensive prompt for your to-do list. So landing page copywriting prompt, family to-do list, busy parents, core message. Can I visualize it? Can I falsify it? The landing page structure, hero section, emotion. Finally, a to-do list that keeps up with family chaos. So this isn't perfect because it's added in some stuff here that I don't want into the prompt. So I might work on like how I'm prompting this to actually refine this to get it better. But I could copy like everything from this section down, like landing page structure, problem pain section, solution section, social proof, call to action, fear and urgency section. This prompt incorporates the emotional logical fear structure from the SaaS website framework. I might want to add in here some design guidance, but basically what I could do then is to copy this prompt and go over to Lovable and then build that website. Let's actually just do this now. Let's say create a landing page for a to-do list app for busy parents following this structure, and then I'm going to paste in that prompt and let's send that off to Lovable and see what it comes back with. So if we jump over to Lovable now and see what Lovable's actually put together off the back of this prompt that we got from Poppy, it's pulled together a pretty decent landing page to kind of get us started with building our app. It's also generated images for us, which we can replace in there. So that's a new feature in Lovable, that it does generate those images. But yeah, we've got a pretty decent landing page for our app idea now, and it is all following like best practice for conversion. We might want to change some of this stuff. We want to change the text and the images maybe just to align with the app that we're building, but it's set up this web page pretty quickly. So you can see how easy it is to kind of go from existing frameworks to actually then building a web page that aligns with your app or your idea specifically. And I could have added in here like some more design direction as well, just to make this like a slightly nicer design. It's pretty decent off the bat, but I would maybe kind of want to improve this a little bit. The next AI assistant I want to show you here is a shorts to X generator. So what I wanted to do basically was turn the short form video that I was doing into a thread that I could post on X in multiple posts. And I basically, the stuff that I've connected up to the AI chat here was a group here, so that I can just basically drop in the short video that I've created. So I've got one here of how to write your first prompt in Lovable in 90 seconds, where I basically break down how to actually write your first prompt to send to Lovable to get a really good app out of the back of it. I've given it a thread example from X, so I've just basically copied and pasted the content from X over into each of these posts here. So you can see you've got 6 posts in this thread, and then I've plugged in my brand tone of voice document here as well. And if I go into the chat here, you can see that what I said here was write an X thread using my brand tone of voice in the format of the example for the content in the short form video provided. So it says you have a YouTube video about creating prompts in Lovable, you reference the brand tone of voice document. It says I'm having trouble accessing the specific content from your brand tone document and the thread format example. That was actually before I copied and pasted this in here. I had a Google Doc set up in here with the brand tone of voice and it couldn't read it properly. So just a note, like if you're trying to put Google Docs in here, I've actually found that it's been like, maybe it didn't work 100% of the time, but I just copy and paste that over to a text block instead, and that seems to work better. But basically I shared the brand tone of voice and I gave the thread format example. And so then I basically just told it to like actually go ahead and write the thread. And so it says, based on the YouTube video content about creating prompts in Lovable, follow the X thread format example, and here's the thread. So Lovable AI can build your app in minutes, but the most people write terrible prompts and get terrible results. Here's how to create your first Lovable prompt in 90 seconds and get production ready apps. The problem, most people jump into Lovable, write build me an app and wonder why it fails. Vague prompts, no context, missing details, you waste hours fixing what should work. Speed means nothing if your app doesn't function. Number 2 is the solution. Number 3, the 4-part prompt structure. Number 5, this is like why this matters, and then a TLDR post at the end. Lovable AI equals app builder that actually works, and here's what it does. Follow for more posts on building apps with AI. It said the brand tone document appears to be in German, but that's when I had it connected to Google Docs, so don't worry about that. Let's just like send this off again and do this again, because I've got the right stuff connected up here. I don't know why I showed that example when it was like a little bit broken. Let's just get it to write it again. So here we go. So most people overthink their first, it's got the brown tone of voice now, so it'll be in my kind of tone of voice, and it will actually use the example here. So most people overthink their first AI prompt, end up with garbage results. Been building apps for 15 years, and here's how to write a killer, lovable prompt in 90 seconds that actually works. The problem, the framework, real example, why this works, TLDR. I don't like that line, stop winging it, start with structure. So I would just remove that, but really it's just created the whole thread for me that I could then go and post like 99% of this with some small minor edits onto X, and that's just come from a short form video that I've already created. So basically repurposing content in like a slightly different way using AI, and this just helps me like do this really, really quickly without having to go to ChatGPT, give it the YouTube video, copy and paste the prompt, give it the framework again, give it the tone of voice. Everything is already connected up here, and I can just do that in minutes basically just to get that thread. And then we'll move on to the last two AI assistants that I've built here. So the next one here is basically a funnel generator, like a business advisor. And so I really liked this framework for scaling a knowledge business on this channel. It's a bit of a clickbaity thumbnail, but the actual framework that he broke down in there was really, really good for like info products and knowledge businesses, like the sort of business that I'm building with Build Great Products. I've got my AI App Builders Academy, which is my school community, and that's plugged into that. So that's reading all of the information from that website. And I've also just plugged in my YouTube channel here as well. So it's got all of the information about the type of channel that I have, the videos that I've created, the sort of direction, the stuff that I'm going. And what I did here, so the instructions are generate funnels. It basically helps you to generate funnels for your business based on the framework, and it can be for your community or your audience or your app or whatever sort of product you're selling. So if you're building an app, this is a great one to think about, like how could you generate a business plan or a funnel like for your app that might actually work. And it might not need to be based off of this video specifically, but it could be based on another one. You can kind of connect a bunch of stuff up here. So it says like, here's a strategic 30-day roadmap to significantly increase your revenue. Week 1, foundation and funnel architecture. So it's breaking down like the types of offers that I want to do in my funnel here. So like basically by doing paid ads and sending it to these kind of like low ticket offers, and then having a core offer in here, which is really like, that's a course kind of price, but I could do that as the community. I'm not going to increase the community to that price. That's way too high. I might do this slightly different. Content and copy development. So it's got what I need to set up here. Sales process and team, like bring on a sales team if I wanted to do this properly, launch and optimization, and then some revenue projections here as well. Key success metrics to track, immediate next action items, and critical success factors. So this has created me just like a bit of a funnel plan, a bit of a business plan for my channel and my kind of business around AI app building, just using these three kind of things that I've plugged in here. And that has given me a much better output than I would have gotten again from something like ChatGPT or Claude, just by kind of trying to describe the frameworks or giving it an idea of the role that it should be, basically. What you could also do here is basically give it instructions if you wanted to. So this would be like role instructions, and you could copy and paste a prompt in here for like a strategic advisor, basically, to kind of give it even more context of how you wanted it to behave. So I might actually hook that up later. And then last but not least, I want to jump onto this AI assistant, which is changing the way that I am coming up with ideas for YouTube videos and for titles and thumbnails. And basically it is all based on this latest video from Colin and Samir, where they help this smaller creator around 10,000 subscribers. So fairly similar to myself. I'm maybe on like 22 at this point, but it's the same sort of size. Basically they help her like repackage a video into a title and a thumbnail in the first 30 seconds, which really is like 99% of where success on YouTube comes from, is those three things. To repackage it up in a way that it got her like over 100,000 views on this video basically. And so what I've got here is I've got this like framework plugged into this AI chat. I've got my video idea text here, which I put in like my video idea. So that's this one. I will say that I do use some other tools to like come up with video ideas a little bit as well, but most of the time I just like have a thought about something that I want to do, and you could just put your thought in here. So this was like, I saw another video and I wanted to kind of copy the title format and repurpose it to something that I could do. And that's a really good way of thinking about YouTube as well. So I've copied in my rough kind of like title idea in here, which is for this video. So you're going to see this packaging for this video, basically from this stuff that I'm doing here in this video. So I built an entire marketing team with one AI tool, no code with Poppy AI. So that's my idea. And I've got my channel plugged in here and I've got my brand tone of voice, which I use in pretty much everything. And here's the prompt to like copy and paste. So it says create a title, thumbnail, description, and first 30-second script for this video idea based on my channel using this framework. And I've done this here and it's basically kind of gone like, okay, here's your title. So the title is really similar. I think the title really works anyway. Thumbnail description. So me pointing at a computer screen showing Poppy. I might do something similar to this, text overlay, entire marketing team, or one AI tool. I think one AI tool or like AI does everything or like something like that is going to be good. But if you're unsure where to start and like you're just starting to do this is a really good way of like figuring out how to actually get your packaging right. And this is helping me to create much better like thumbnails, titles and intros to these videos as well. And I think the thing that is the real game changer for me was this 30-second script, which I think is one of the best things they broke down in this video, which is like how to do the first 30 seconds in a video, confirm the click in the first 7 seconds. So there are hundreds of AI marketing tools out there, but I just discovered one that can replace your entire marketing team. So it's like, I've done all this work of like all these hundreds of AI tools, and this is the one that I would recommend. Establish the video plus a personal connection. As someone who's built multiple apps, I always struggled with marketing. I'd either spend thousands on agencies or waste hours trying to do it myself. But what I found with Poppy AI completely changed how I think about marketing. I would change that to like marketing with AI, basically. So don't lie in the stuff that it's giving you back. AI doesn't really have the context, so it's going to like maybe come up with lies in some of this stuff sometimes, but just change it to actually be accurate. And then open a curiosity loop for the rest of the video. But what I didn't expect was that this one tool would generate more leads in 24 hours than my previous marketing efforts did in 3 months. And so what I've done here instead with this part is to say like, what I didn't expect was this one AI assistant here, which is this one that I'm demonstrating, to completely change the way that I come up with YouTube video ideas. So that's what I'm doing in this video. I've followed this structure. Let me show you exactly how I set this up. And that leads into the content. So this follows this framework perfectly. It confirms the click, establishes video, opens a new loop, uses your channel's voice. Okay, perfect. So this is now the way that I'm going to be coming up with like this packaging for YouTube content ideas. And it's all done through this one Poppy board. And as I mentioned before, one thing that you can actually do, if you have the upgraded plan on Poppy and you have to book a sales call to actually get on this and then pay for it, and it is more expensive, is to unlock Poppy APIs and chatbots. And so you can actually connect your workflow automations from something like NAN into the Poppy API, and then you'll basically be able to like create an agent in NAN that would like call any of these AI assistants in Poppy, and that could be like your entire marketing team done just with Poppy, and maybe using like workflow automation as well. And so that's how I've built my entire marketing efforts, my entire marketing team, just doing it myself with Poppy AI, no coding necessary. It's not like NAN, it's not going to be super complicated to set up. You just drag and drop your things in here, connect it up to an AI chat, and then you get incredible results out the back of it. I'm continuing to explore this app and to figure out what I can do here, but this is genuinely like an incredibly useful tool that I would highly recommend, especially if you're just starting out, and especially if you're building an app or you're building a business and you want to start getting a bit more attention across social media, because there are strategies to this, there are frameworks out there for this that already exist. All you have to do is find that content, find those frameworks, repurpose it with your own tone of voice, then actually start building attention across all these different platforms, YouTube, TikTok, X, all of that stuff, to actually build a bit of attention around the app that you're building or the business that you're building. So that was Poppy AI, and I've broken down exactly how I use it in my business for Build Great Products, and also for the app that I'm building, App Canvas. Now, if you are building an app, or you have an app idea, or you want to start a software business, I would hugely recommend trying out a tool like this, even to just start kind of dipping your toe in the water of creating content, and then you can basically iterate and learn on that as you kind of start to grow and as you kind of start to figure out what content is working for you. Some really good places to start if you're trying to build an audience and attention around an idea that you're building, and you can do this even before you have an app ready to actually launch, is to just start with things like short form video on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. These can be really low effort ways to get a ton of attention and views, and just direct that traffic into a waitlist list if you're trying to kind of gauge whether people are interested in your app idea or your business idea. And you can also start on X as well, just to kind of build it in public, be authentic and share your progress, and actually generate content for all of these platforms, come up with video ideas in the frameworks, using the right hooks and using your own tone of voice in those posts as well. Instead of just generating rubbish AI copy or post ideas, this is actually kind of following the right frameworks and using your tone of voice so that it sounds actually like you, and you can always tweak and edit those as you go. And it just saves you a ton of time as well. If you don't have the time to actually go and research all of these frameworks and strategies, you can just plug those into the AI chat and ask it to create something for you using that information, rather than you having to actually figure it out yourself. And what's even better than that as a creative person is actually just being able to do this super easily in Poppy without figuring out, like in NaN, how I actually automate all this stuff or setting up all of these complicated blocks and connecting stuff together. It's just very, very easily. You just plug the stuff into your AI chat and that will help you figure out the stuff that you want. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are building an app with AI, or you've got an app idea and you want to get started building it, I've got a community helping people do exactly that. And you can find out more over at school.com/AI apps. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Build great products. Build great products.